o marang moula mayop au ngil madangali arngul belaw isayawul akmul mogon ar other belaw
Mada malungil silsil mora reklado prosebil elo mestre gida tel programa al tutao or sel kukmo o mesa ikil koram klol toil el dilub ablua de tara klol toil dilub a tigal el ada ngartiang terul ada Australia ma ada fisin mental ne ol dingrigid mada ul kirel torak lo ngagid el ada lo ngeda ngartiang ada aksyo garingi le kadim dengli meng KYOTA kagi tinggal mo o langang to lingila aral ma igar el almel mandei kagi logra madengi pura kalwaseng mo langato anyway ngatiang al diang selul kungel ngara si ora PPUC ada lul korngi elang ngangel mereda lak lor belau presidenta PNOC ngatiang lu titi tigal lokya kara ada lor ngatiang makmuling itringi mo guko aisto setiga to atang ngartiang ngra ulm tangartiang guk ngra kadung mo malaring irtir malu guk ngra kadung mestrin ka ulale korka ya ngari sel diam raidan dik deku ngli makti beskawe
malu ta sura udre ilma u total me gidro gui adbelau to gubet bergamil guk ma sebedr guk kaswes adu la gamlidiul Akartel era el tutau lo bengela VIDHYA LAKHAN el ngia presidenta Pacific Games Council ma Andrew MINOGUE ngia Chief Executive Officer Pacific Games Council etilang artiang el blelding ergiv emlemes ergiv el girela omot baklela urelev el girela Pacific Mini Games at 2025 el belao a gilingel mo ngora arngi sa 2019 tamler sera kapsir ogulurior mlar se skogil ngara Brisbane el mora a PNC ngara PNC mera bulur belao mesera alme mlonia ati elam serong edulura gimlo otngeli a ogordeu Patrick Teleng a presidenta PCC NGIRMANG Amiltut kra tengah ke presiden tergida Sulang Lipis Junior el mo ngora arsil organizing gemiri el mo motbok belau ra agel rogu black logo ma drang ok o mengalir ma olidiu ra rogul atlet sa taiheyo ra dims ma virus el bera 2025 every risegim lo dila kan nomsa tengah ke presiden tergida Sulang Lipis Junior mumlonia te elit tigal teruruba el guk mesang subadira igel mlo waqti kar umrol ilmei ma igel el waya expector gib el motbok el direla tiakla klainga da klogol bladru telial sil ser luklo agimlo odumra badul olbira glulau atangak el senator Hokons Paulis senya presidenta senate Madiak atangakal speaker House of Delegates el delegate Sabino Anastasio mata agil tablo meeting rama bloben tri tablo terka kultri mortil wase belao moragit kurbabal sabril kamamel mutring el belao mo lol nasiora ngel belao bablu mamel belao gila wa kagid ngara el gim gilinge emlang mai magim bokro mam gile momal gamlo okloa arandrir Dongin matengel wase mutring el belau barungura la tol belau torak la kleng la tol belau wa ogordel nya mutring tel al af barbek longra la klogola alo atma ge braille motbok direct 2025 direct sera elien lo nya temam lo bengela Brian Melaire ya directora Department of Public Works emanechila ci ay pirgid Nombra lo mesa gigi del Black Logo, magil mora Dragon Field, el mora swimming pool gidra miuns, ma mora softball gidra miuns, embra el medical spider chimmer gide mora asahi guranda.
Tamna mesa rogui.
Na mesa rogui, direct loniate la director meraile lo aichitil wase a vida mlam gatbok, Ariam la 12, ariam la evaluated al time, ngaringi al dura kontrata bebira aigaidor facilities. Oo.
Yang kurang malir ke de rurak matetom amde.
O hindi gila del gutbok la ngaringi sel domestic sel angar elol mulbui gad gutbok. Kora ngayo sen test events al sel. Make sure I got rogul do what your lights, scoreboards, everything. Ebe kum strate elar ngal gedam tospe aigal mo undom selme ngani sel home court advantage. Emilu lagi gidul luradam momrek. Emergom lo elia gimlo melgeo magi والمساجل المسار المو وشوال برقبية من المرا البيرا لولاو مملونيا تقليل تور ما أوبيسا بريسيدنت تريد مروها جليلو تلمي مليلو تلمو مسرا أوغردو لأنه سيل ماب برتال أجال فينيو سوري لو مسريم تميلسان سيل إبي كلوغ تملورا لو تمر أوبيسا كده PNOC لأنه سيل بريس كونفرنس وكا كامبيس مع Island Times مروها قصوصا لأنه سيد سبورتس أورد بانكويت ترجيد lagi melargi lo banggela tengah presiden tergida surang Lips Junior ma direk rubugul belau ma arangal geda rogul sesel gesus o ben setam gida oldang setigal ngal geda raklay ngwadrak lo oy mo mal lo ngil mo brenga sauru riu ni chalo lo ay sing mal lo
mo ay sang clear trigel ngila angu ko
Oi,
lauriu.
Oi, que bom era. É motor da simbung era uma se Island Times mo. Motor bedel.
Kamu kura di udeli tilang al motor American subsidi di kan ay kukuto bestri ate al.
So VIDHYA and Monica, Andrew, I basically have encapsulate the trip from Tuesday night and all the visits we've made. And the leadership that we've encountered and spoke with, and also the venue visits with the Director of Public Works, all the way to the press conference and up to last night. So
we can close this interview.
Now I turn it over to you and to Mr. Uludong.
He made my questions simple and few now. Yeah. He covered most of it. So first. Let me, on behalf of this station and the audience of Palau, welcome you again to Palau. And it appears that Mr. KYOTA has covered all your ground, and it's important that we have this kind of thing because when foreigners come to Palau, Palau was an isolated country, a bunch of islands. So first we have to look: are you coming as friend or as foe? So it's important that people know that you are here, apparently as friend, So can you, kind of summarize your mission here and who you are, and then your colleague here?
Yeah, well, I think we're here more as sports people because that's the business we're now in, and we represent the Pacific Games Council. And the Pacific Games Council is the owner of the Pacific Mini Games and the Pacific Games. And we, through our General Assembly, award the games to a member of the Games Council. So in Palau, the member of the Pacific Games Council is Palau Olympic Committee or Palau Pacific Games Association. So we give the games to our member, not to a country, not to a government, not to a city, but to our member. And we do that because by virtue of being a member of the Games Council, they are bound by our rules, regulations and constitution, and to some extent we have control over them.
And you have Palau Pacific Game Council?
Yeah.
So that's like this PNOC or the committee is acting also as a game council at the same time?
Yes.
So it's not a separate entity?
No. It's the same. In small island territories, they represent both the organizations, the same group, both organizations.
So he's sitting here also as the the head of that Pacific Palau Pacific Game
Games
Council.
Association.
Oh, okay.
And also as president of the Palau Olympic Committee.
Olympic Committee. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
he
good.
wears two hats.
Two hats. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
So that's how we structured. So what we normally do is once the games are awarded, we visit the host nation selected to meet with the political leaders and meet with sports leaders.
And that has been done.
That all has been done.
Okay.
And we do that to satisfy ourselves that we have given a game to a member who has the support of the people and the government, both sides if there is opposition and all that. Because there can be change of government. The games are awarded 7 years in advance. And if there is a change in government, then we still have the support from the political leaders.
So you're from Fiji, right?
Yeah, I live in Fiji.
Okay.
And my CEO, Andrew, he lives in Australia, Brisbane.
So I ask you, to read the several coup d'etat in Fiji, when you have a change of government, it did not affect you?
No. Sports and politics are miles apart.
But the government support the sports.
Even if they don't support us, we still exist. It might be, we might struggle a bit, but we are still allowed to exist and do what we have to do.
So, okay.
We're very strict on that. If there is any political intervention, and there has been, then there are consequences.
Okay. Yeah. So you're from Fiji, but as I ask you, you're a small man. When we think of Fiji, sports people in Fiji, we think muscle, curly hair, big like him. So how did you get involved in sports?
All my life I have played sports. I've been since as a child, like all the other kids do, and then you play all different sports and then you find what you're good at and you pursue that. But at a very early age I got involved in sports administration at the club level, then the district, then national, then regional level as well.
And you do it as a volunteer?
Yeah, this is all voluntary.
Like him?
Yes.
Okay.
We're all volunteers and we do it for the love of sport.
And Andrew, can you tell us who you are?
Yes, I'm Andrew Minogue, the CEO of the Pacific Games Council, and I've been working with President LAKHAN here since 2007.
Oh, long time.
So a long time in this role. Before that I worked on the Olympic Games in Sydney. So you heard in the introduction President Frank talking about Brisbane, and we were all in Brisbane 2 weeks ago for a big conference around the Olympic Games of 2032 and how we can promote our athletes in the islands to perform well.
And of course Palau is going to participate.
Definitely will participate, absolutely. And so it's interesting for me because I started out in my journey in sports back in the Sydney 2000, which was Palau's first Olympic Games, as a new member of the International Olympic Committee back then. So it's been very good for me to see Palau's growth in their ability and their performance, and I think we're going to see a big step forward in 2025 when you host the Pacific Mini Games. So yes, that's my background in sports administration now going back to the late 90s.
Wow, but you were involved in sport as a young man.
I was.
You play any sport?
I did. Similar to President here, I played soccer.
Soccer.
And cricket and tennis.
Were you good at soccer or cricket?
Well, not good enough. But I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah.
And I like as president. He's still a keen golfer. I do a lot of running and swimming, and I like to stay fit. And I think we try and present a good example to younger athletes. When we move into administration, doesn't mean we have to stop keeping fit, keeping healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that's something very important in the Pacific.
Okay, so you said that there's 1,500 athletes going to be here.
Yeah.
So,
Athletes and officials.
and then that's from the Pacific, on top of our local athletes. You don't count our local athletes, or?
I think that would be the total population,
Total
including the
population.
Team Palau. Yeah.
Yeah, but in terms of those foreign athletes,
Yes.
others, how many, like, because, you know, we have a small place, so we need to go, how many are,
We'll fit everybody.
so about
Yeah.
1,000,
Something like that.
okay.
Yeah, well over 1,000, and then Team Palau on top.
Mm-mm.
We think around 1,500. But
Wow.
the accommodation of the athletes, to look after the athletes when they're here, will be done through the schools, which is a very normal thing in the Pacific Games. We're going to be in the Solomon Islands this year for the main games in November, and the athletes will all stay in the local schools in Honiara. So what you will be offering here in Palau with the schools converted into accommodation is very acceptable, very normal standard for Pacific Games.
I understand they're building a huge stadium or something in Solomon's for the
Yes,
game.
yes. They're building a number of facilities which they did not have.
Mm-mm.
So that they will all be ready but mid-August.
Then is Palau going to participate?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
All the 24 countries will be.
Yeah, so in terms of these mini games, 2.5 years from now, what is Palau required to do? Of course, you know, providing the housing and the facilities. What else do like Palau is required to do?
Okay, just let me go back one step. When the games are awarded, we enter into a contract with our member and their government and Games Council. So the contract spells out who is going to do what.
And it's already done.
That was done in 2019.
Oh, wow, long time.
As soon as the voting is completed, we know the winner. We adjourn the meeting, we sign the contract. So under the contract, the government is required, Palau government, to provide all the facilities, venues, financial resources, sporting equipment that we will need for the competitions and the games. The Palau Pacific Games Association, in consultation with the government, is required to form a games organizing committee. So the games organizing committee looks after the preparation of all the sports competition, and in Palau we will have 12 sports.
Oh, you have 12 sports.
12
What
sports.
are the 12 sports?
What are the vacancies? Including weightlifting and wrestling.
So they organize the competition through assistance of International Federation delegates and Oceania delegates, and they're also responsible to make all the arrangements for accommodation, dining or feeding the athletes, and transporting them during the games. So that becomes the responsibility of the Games Organizing Committee. With the support of the government, with the support of the local business community, and with the support of the people of Palau.
So in terms of our participation, how many people will be involved, sports, you know, beside officials, when they come here?
Close to 200.
To 200. Oh.
No, we're home team, so we can build a bigger team.
And then, okay.
Yeah, Moses, there's another aspect. So apart from organizing the games, which Palau Pacific Games Association is responsible for through a Games Organizing Committee, one of the things they also have to do is to prepare Palauan athletes to take part in the games. And our message to them and to Palawan athletes is that they must do well. This must be their best games ever. They must win more medals than they have ever done.
So I assume baseball is going to be part of that. Okay.
So that's another thing they have to do. And
so tell Fiji players of baseball that Palau is going to get cold.
yeah.
Okay.
So tungkol dili dire udong mention sila sing ngari selguk mo mura ratim Palau. Ela ukordeu ura sing organizing kibiling nga mga bok artiar rogil belul mo giret tiar game.
Okay.
Yung paling sel lotara la el mo prepare a tim Palau el mo artiar klayungat. No, so tim Palau management team maguka niya pa ukordel nga Pacific Games organizing committee.
Okay. So as you know, I asked you during the, I think it was Festival of Arts here. What happened is like we have our villages or our states, like they kind of sponsor different thing from, and we have that interaction, and they will provide support to see, and then food and some party with them and all that stuff. So that is possible. So
we encourage that. And one of the things we have done in the past, and I'm sure they will do the same in Palau, is adopt a school or schools adopt a country.
Wow.
So one school may adopt Fiji. Then the kids are required to study about Fiji, learn about Fiji.
Very interesting.
And when the Fiji team comes here, there is an interaction, and they will go and cheer for Fijian athletes.
Wow. But as you know, I mean, there are more Fijians here than everybody else from the Pacific, about 50 of them, so you have no problem on that score. So, okay, so...
so that's one way of educating our kids about our region. And then there are also, we have had cases where a village will adopt a country. And the athletes will go down to the village one Sunday, they have the church service and have a meal, interact. It's bringing the people of the region.
And how many days is this?
10 days.
10 days. How many countries are going to be involved?
24, including Australia and New Zealand.
Oh, wow. Australia and New Zealand. Okay, now I think I'm going to pose this question to you. As a media man, I record, the medals of these games that I watch closely, all these years, I noticed one thing which kind of unfair in my opinion. As I told you, I mean, like when Palauans stand with Fijians or Tongans, I mean, we're meet. So the question is like, it's kind of unfair because you have big guys, millions of people, more people, they play with a small, island like this. We have 12,000 Palauans, The pool is very small, So, how do you address that? Because I kind of feel that it's unfair because you're going to lose, There's no way Palau, because every time I watch Palau, it's always down. Of this Pacific Games, so I'm wondering. Also, the thing about also the sports. A friend of mine from Nauru came here one time with 15 athletes, and he said, "We just came to get medals of wrestling, and we're going home." Weightlifting. So they came, they got the medals, they left. So here is the thing, like for like baseball, basketball, and all those group games. It's expensive. It's a lot of hard work. There's more people. Why the medal should be awarded to a number of players? Because and then the lifting just few seconds or minutes, and then the category, so they get more medals. It's kind of an unfair situation. So I don't know. I don't know whether you have considered this, but I don't think it's fair. Because baseball, it's hard. It's expensive game. It's take a lot of training, more people. This one, 18 players to start with. That kind of situation. So I watch all these games throughout, the years, But it seems to be, kind of an unfair,
Okay.
Not the playing field is not fair.
There are team events and there are individual events. So a team, one team will play for one gold medal. In athletics, we have in swimming, in weightlifting, you have so many categories.
Yes.
So each category there are medals. So if you say for a team event, for one team, we give each athlete gets a medal, but it is only counted as one medal.
When it comes to the total count.
Yeah, one medal. But each athlete will get a medal. But on the medal tally, it's counted as one. So in weightlifting, there's about 33.
Well, weightlifting is a good example. When you talk in your question, Moses, about the different size of strength of the different athletes, weightlifting, like judo, like wrestling, they have categories based on weight. So we had a very good example last night at the Sports Awards of Stevik Patris winning the Male Athlete of the Year. Now, we all watched Stevik just last year in Saipan. He won 3 gold medals in his weightlifting category. He beat Australia. He beat Papua New Guinea. He beat Fiji. He beat the bigger countries. But his category was defined by weight, so he wasn't having to lift against guys who are much bigger than him. He's in a definite weight category and proved that he can win.
So when it comes to individual sports, you said the playing field is level.
In some of them. Yeah.
But when you individual sports and group sports, it's kind of, if you are to award like 9 to, the baseball, I think it's going to be fair. It just doesn't, doesn't make sense, because you can win so in the group sports, and then when you come, you lose because there are too many categories in one sport.
Yeah. No, I understand.
Anyway,
and you're not the first. You're not the first person to raise this issue, being maybe unfair.
Yeah.
It does come up from time to time, but for the moment, that's how it is.
You have to understand that in the Pacific Games, mini games here, we will have 12 sports. The sport does not belong to us. The sport belongs to the International Federation. So if we talk about baseball, the sport belongs to World Baseball. They establish all the technical rules. So if we are having their sport in our games, we have to comply and adhere to the technical rules.
Ah, I see. Oh.
Let me add on that. Maldung inuang tigang amil me o mesaigang inspect awri writyang tigid international federations amil me chira swimming pool gid atragen fielder gid bagel weight agel ogul omid del el make sure en atera gid standard el sumaria games gidra mini games Pacific games agar world record en world record adrogi الشو track and field الجديد مع swimming pool الجديد مع weight lifting الجديد أبيع قلبي تجد specs international federations يعني كسباق ويا world record عندي غسيل recordين لين standard الجديد أبيع غنرسيجي أدو important التيرا مي أومس أوري وريتيان التنايتي international federations المي confirm راس أيقال venues لوي مع sports facilities up to standard.
So they're going to be here?
Oh,
so as
representative of the International Federation.
They have to be here. They will be here, start coming from early next year after the Solomon Games. Then they will come and meet the people, see everything. So what I was saying, that we do not decide how many medals for which sport. It is determined by the owners of that sport.
And it's the same all the way to the Olympic Games.
Olympic Games.
It's the same.
Okay.
It's the same standard.
Yeah. Okay, we're coming to an end. I understand he says only 30 minutes.
Another thing I wanted to make mention of is Nauru has been taking part in the Pacific Games for some time. They've never been winning medals, but they sat back and looked. They're short, strong. What sport are they good at? And they started focusing on weightlifting.
And I think they have a training center there or something. Yeah.
They used to. So that's what happens. You have to look at your athletes and the sports and then decide for yourself where our opportunities are greater, and then you start focusing on those aspects. If you want to, Palau wants to play rugby with the Fijians, you'll have some difficulty.
Yeah. So I guess, is rugby going to be part of the game?
Not in here.
So can you just mention the 12 games?
I know we have, let me try and get them all, archery and athletics. We have swimming, we have triathlon, we have weightlifting, wrestling, 3x3 basketball, baseball, softball. Did I mention volleyball? We have indoor and beach. Table tennis. I think I'm getting close to the judo.
Did you mention triathlon?
Yeah, triathlon.
What about canoe?
Yes.
Yeah.
The VAR.
Okay.
So we'll have canoeing. That's very important here. Palau always sends a canoeing team to the games. So we think the 12 sports that have been chosen by Palau NOC are very popular sports in the Pacific. That's why we're very confident that the numbers of athletes will come from the other countries, because they've selected, I think, a very popular program. Nearly every country in the Pacific has track and field, has weightlifting, has table tennis, swimming, for example. So we're going to have a good turnout of athletes.
So this, you have Pacific Games, that's much bigger.
Yes.
And then you have mini games.
Yes.
And Pacific Games is every 4 years.
Yes.
And mini games is every 2 years.
2 years in between. Yes.
4 years, but 2 years in between.
Okay.
Yes.
And micro games are the same.
Yeah, we 2 years before.
Every 2 years.
So these games are
they're staggered in such a way that
in such a way that you go from one level to the next and keep going until you reach Olympic Games.
Okay, well, this is your first time here, I assume.
No.
Oh, you've been here before.
I was here in 2005 for the first South Pacific Games, mini games at that time.
Yeah.
Patrick was the chairman of the organizing committee.
And you were president?
Yes.
Okay. So, Mr. President, there's when Caesar went to Europe after they conquered the Gauls, he said, I came, I saw, and I conquered. So my question to you is, you came, you saw, and then what?
I didn't conquer.
Delivered.
But I convinced myself, and I convinced the sports leaders and the political leaders that in our assessment, Palau is in a good space, in readiness to host the Games in 2025. There's still some work to be done, but we have 2.5 years, as you said, before the Games, and with the political support of everybody in Palau, we will get there in good time. And we're looking forward to an excellent Games, which we will be broadcasting worldwide through the Olympic channel.
Okay.
So apart from showing the world what you are able to do in organizing sporting events, you will also be projecting Palau, hopefully, as a tourist destination.
So we're going to show some pictures of beautiful islands and diving and all that. Okay. Wow. Okay.
So it's a good opportunity for Palau, and we would like to think that Palau is making very good investment in hosting the mini games, and it will produce.
Are you satisfied with the facilities, the sports facilities here?
Yeah, for the mini games, they're adequate. Need some refurbishment in some of the facilities. They don't have to build any major facilities, but I know the governor or the president has plans to build 1 or 2 gymnasium. That's quite. But from our perspective, we have what is required, but it'll need a little bit of work to bring it up to standard. And as Frank has alerted, the facilities, the sporting equipment we offer must meet international federation requirements.
Okay.
So that's why the international federation delegates will start coming from next year.
Okay, do any parting word of wisdom?
Yes, Moses, we came as friends, we leave as friends. We leave very happy, as President said, with the state of the preparations. We're very confident Palau can deliver very good games in 2025. As President said, your facilities are here, they exist, they're being used. Yes, they're going to get an upgrade, but some other places that we go to that have the games require new facilities, like Solomon Islands this year. They're still building them. But we're very confident that Palau will be ready and we'll be back as friends again, probably this time next year, to have another look and see that the preparations have moved up to another level, which we're sure they will. Thank you for having us.
One more.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know, I don't understand his language, but 12 months before the games, so 2024, all the 24 countries will be coming to Palau for a General Assembly, and then they will also have the opportunity to look at the preparations, where they will stay, where they will play, where they will sleep, where they will eat.
Wow.
So that will also take place. But my parting message is to the people of Palau. We have a group of Palauans who are going to organize the games, but they need help, they need support. We need the population to get behind the organizing committee and also behind their athletes who will be representing. So they need our support so they can perform credibly in front of home crowd come 2025.
Don't worry, Palau is a sport country. People are very interested in sport. We're small population.
The discussions we had at Brisbane.
Yeah, we spent about 10-12 days ago 2 days in Brisbane, where we had all the major stakeholders, including the Australian government and Queensland government. We were discussing how the athletes in the Pacific Islands can be assisted so they can take part in the 2032 Olympic Games in Brisbane, which is about 10 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah. So,
You'll be gone and I'll be gone. So.
You speak for yourself. But we have to start preparing our athletes, and so the Australian government is quite committed, so is the Queensland government, and they're working on a plan as to how regional Pacific Island athletes can be assisted. And what we're hoping will come to is top athletes from each of the Olympic committees will have the opportunity to go to Australia, maybe stay there for train, improve their performances, and qualify to participate. So there are opportunities for not Palauan athletes, but apart from them, all the other athletes in the region to benefit from this discussion that took place in Brisbane 10 days ago.
Wow.
So we
great. Hindi ka ba summarize sa same ko Ismaria?
Sulang so agil luluga sigidra agil rukla silgi mara Brisbane saudara amo o ngesul pergamitria kabelenta Australia el mol ngsewe gagid el pelura tahi yora di mesmadiros رقمهم بقرا سبيد الوسيط تريجيد المذوق الغلقيد اسبيغا ادو لين مورا برو أستراليا train متبقر تيم وسيل 2032. I think they've themed the game as the Olympic Games for the Oceania. Yeah. And so Australia ملامي كسيد commitment سوالا هذا أربيك هذا البورا بنيت إلى high level training coaching ماروي prepare till 2032 not only Australia but Chile ما يقال روغول بولا تهيو بول ذاك إنها وينها بتقول ميدال تال مرة لوريو رني وايجد البلوغ مرة وسبع يجد high level training ما facilities مال بوغير كده. So the details are being worked out. إذا متبقي إذا جاي أجيد التعال. تادي I'm there at you running more but the work has begun.
It's a long time, but we have grandchildren about like 10 to 15 now who can prepare to go there a different sport, yeah.
Because they say it takes about 8 years to prepare athletes for an Olympic Games. Yeah.
Kau orang mereka
kamu mas mereka kau orang
ya di kultur apa ku orang asuri tinggal sponsor sedikit malgit bok legal urut mutra kasusnya you know amadik kutat ale ku orang asuri arba bekladan mereka tiket setir me blogur tel sports all banquetra ngalgeda mamlo ngira kasusmu Maria Donatau sama Palo Pacific Resort ma direct il Tori ma ER Roast Shannon Suites ma Bofi Nego Plaza ma The Tas direct il buom la sa usa kamisa sel ma close screen giblem lungot bokria raged ma ptol message tiro dringi lungot bokria tele Roland Productions ma direct il TMC la ble film be live stream ringa sus ma tiabirara YouTube Gimal brenga surira tiragi the sponsors rigid ma direct el galma ilum services ma decorations by Desiree direct mal for the first time irma giminut mokna al satim le chubrigi kilo member msangel ngalgedem le MC telling about the lady who MCs the event last night superb etigadi ngalgedem ngalga sinchi chibas chiban ngalga chibon mal tigre ngalge ويختار ترانسبورت من ديفلوب مال ما موضوع تال it was a really good evening راغسوس تلور الليدر سرجيد مع ضم مراديل مع فرنسا ادريت ما بلا ولا بريلم مال برين اسوليل ديريكت هذيك ادوين اونرون مارسي ما كالي ريبن مع لارسون تقول ورا انترتينمنت هم بلا ولا انترتينمنت برايل مال برين اسوليل ما اجيل بك الشو باي ما هذا الوايقاو ما وريلم كومبالي قول الشارع ادريت ما جمال اجي مريغ اساو ديك المال موت مال بودنسيا طول ام ترجد را نيسرا بك السيل كوبدي تاي الممرغ التالي ودول التبديل مرابلا جيمز ما مريغ سولا بريزيدنت ما ديك البريزيدنت سينات ما سبيكر هاوس ما ديليجيتس ما سيناتورز مال قام لهم لو قراق ميسي سيجي لهم لو بسول بس أدري ما مت بكرة تاجي البلاو جيم سرقين سو أمور تشوندوري مبرر تشولاينا يعني مو فوري دور constitutional anniversary كده هذا البلاو so even say the Pacific Games مو إن the July 9 كده يجيب لي scheduling على كده so celebrate مبرر closing ceremony celebrate constitutional تريد تريه
اوكي
ما ديرك كنت تعال غورنا سولا رضا مار اديل ادليت ما جيل فاميلي سبورت جروب برتين مار اضرب بلول مال لون سيرتي مال وايسي درينغ ما على كميون يو نو جاك كماما كماما Pacific Games bar NOCs موترا OC exist because of the athletes they are the reasons why I exist and everything we do welfare team well-being team opportunities team al sports mo close other productive citizens contributing citizens
Rahman Sulang Frank thank you very much for joining this program today and it's been kind of enlightening especially for me and I'm sure the people who listen because sport. We're very interested in sport, and we this country we support sport a lot. So as you've seen, you met our top leaders in a few days, and I know they make commitment, and we will support them, and we'll support sports. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
He was an athlete in the 1969 Olympic, but he was representing Chuk.
Oh.
He lost to Palau. So.
I was a basketball player and volleyball player. We lost to Palau. We got silver both volleyball and basketball.
You haven't got the height to play basketball.
Yeah, but I jump high. Okay, Sula.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Alo ay se kuman mo saule kan mo lungul le del bungil mutel mo mol. Sula.
o marang moula mayop au ngil madangali armul belau iseyau ul akmul mogon our other belau seyau ul akmul mogon our other belau